Hello, students. Good afternoon to all of you. I, Racha Saxena, working as assistant professor in the Department of Electrical Engineering. So, welcome you all in this lecture. That is the power system instrumentation. Code is EE311, and unit is second. Means unit second is going on, and topic is transducers. So, as I earlier told you, my dear student, previous this lecture, or we can say, and in the at the time of starting of this subject, that is power system instrumentation. This power system instrumentations totally deal with the instrument part. And if I'm talking about the instrument part means I'm talking about the measuring part. We also called as measuring instruments. So measuring instruments we have, if I'm talking about I want to measure voltage. If I'm talking about voltage, so I need voltmeter. Or I'm talking about the current, that is ammeter. If I'm talking about the measure power, that is wattmeter. So voltmeter, ammeter, wattmeter, ohm meter for the resistance. Multimeter is also there. We can measure all the things. So these all are basically the instruments for the measuring purpose. So we can also call it as measuring instruments. But now in this power system instrumentation, which I am talking about, which I am taking about, or which I am taking as a subject, okay. So that is PSI. The short form of this power system instrumentation is PSI. Now, power system instrumentation is basically part of power system. Now, if I am talking about the my dear student power system, so power system basically deals with the electrical thing, means electrical system. How electrical generated, transmitted, distributed. Okay, how we get the power in our houses, domestic supply, industrial supply. There's so many things. So that comprises in the power system. And in power system, we having analysis also, how we analyze the voltage, current, faults, and all. Okay, engineering, which type of engineering we are applying. Okay, so whole this part, if I'm talking about the generation, so if I'm talking about the generation, my dear student, so generation means I'm talking about the electrical power generation, that is the conversion basically, because energy neither be created nor be destroyed, energy conservation law, but it can be transformed from one form to the another. So it means I'm talking about the transformation. So if I'm transforming from mechanical to electrical or whatever it is, okay, now that voltage or that power is basically in the kilowatt or kilovolt. Okay, so kilovolt, how can we identify it as kilovolt? I need a measuring instrument. I want to measure it. How we can say it is in the kiloampere? And in your house you are getting 240, 220, 240 volt in your house in the domestic appliances. If you're having the single phase supply, if you're having the three phase supply, then it always be 415 volt. Means phase to phase always having 415 volt, and phase to neutral always having what, 240 volt. So phase to neutral, if I'm talking about, that is single phase system, and phase to phase I'm talking about three phase system. So three phase to phase always having 415 volt, and if I'm talking about phase to neutral means single phase system, that is 240 volt. So these 240 volt and these 415 volt, I want to measure it. Do I need a instrument that is known as measuring instrument? So I hope you understand about this thing. Okay, so for this measuring instrument I need a system, I need some instruments. So that comes in the category of instrumentation. And if I'm talking about these instruments we use in the power system, so we call it as a power system instrumentation. Okay, so in this power system instrumentation, the first unit was deal with the errors. Because if I want to make measurement, my dear student, so there were some losses. There will having some, they were having some errors. So these error comes in the basically I taught you in the unit number one in my previous series of lecture. So errors, if I'm talking about the errors, so errors of so many types: random, okay, instrumental, environmental, systematic, gross, so many types of error. If I'm having the error, so I have to take mean of it. So average, deviation if it's there, then standard deviation. Okay, variance is there, so numericals based on that. So I talked a lot about this in the unit number one. Now if I'm taking it the unit number two, now this is the last lecture of unit number two, so that is why I'm revising the unit number 1. Now in unit number 2, basically I started with the transducer. The unit topic, basically the name is transducer, but subtopics are so many. First is what is transducer we have, what transducer do basically, what are the characteristic transducer should have, what are the types the transducer should having, means which type of transducer we have to use for this, for that, means for measurement of pressure, displacement, okay, temperature, okay, inductive, capacitive, so many things are there. So in previous lectures I talked to you about linear variable difference transducer, that is LVDT, RVDT, strain gauge, thermocouple, resistance temperature detector, that is RTD in short form, thermometer is there, resistance thermometer is there, thermocouple is there, Hall effect for magnetic measurement, okay, capacitive transducer, okay, resistive transducer we can say, pot, that is potentiometer, strain gauges, okay. So many transducer we have. Thermocouple is also there. I talked a lot about the thermocouple. So these all are basically the transducers. These all are the transducer. Because what is transducer? Transducer is a element, component, part of a system, medium of a system, which basically convert one form of energy to the another. Convert one part of the energy to the another part of, you can say, one form, that may be the mechanical converted into the electric, that may be the electrical converted into the mechanical. So if I'm talking about the mechanical or electrical, my dear student, so that is the energy form. These are the physical quantities. So the conversion from these means convert from physical quantities to the physical quantity again, from one to another. So that is the transducer. But this transducer you are studying, basically you are learning in the electrical engineering branch. So we talked a lot about electrical transducer, and we are also talking about the electrical transducer, my dear student. So what is transducer, what characteristic this transducer have? So I hope you better understand about this thing. So now, if I'm basically teaching you a lecture, I'm telling something, I want to tell something about the transducer. So the basic objective or the objective from my side for this lecture are: first, help the learner to understand the basics of transducer. This is common. Common is why? Because if I don't tell you about the transducer, you will forget. You don't know what is transducer. So first I have to tell you that what is transducer, my dear student. If I don't tell you about the transducer, so you may forget it. You may not find that what is transducer, my dear student. So I want to tell you, or what is my objective is, have the learner, means you, the students, or the viewer who's watching this lecture. So have the learner to understand the basics of transducer. What are the basic we have? On which basic we have? Basically, what is the basic behind transducer working? How transducer work? What are the basics? So we talked about the basics also. Okay. Now the main thing which I want to tell you in this lecture, that is, understand the working and principle of inductive, photovoltaic, and photoconductive transducers. Principle of inductive, photovoltaic, and photoconductive transducers. So transducer, if I'm talking about, so transducer is an element converting one form of energy to the another. Okay. So in this lecture, I will tell you about the inductive, I will tell you about the photovoltaic, I will tell you about the photoconductive transducer. How they work, on the principle, on the which principle they are working. Basically, the total working part, the theory related to inductive, photovoltaic, and photoconductive transducer, I will tell you later in this lecture. So this is my objective. Okay, and the basic is the first part. So I will basically divide into two parts. One part tells you the basics of transducer again in my all lectures. Why it is this? Because basics will be there. You understand the basic of transducer, then you can understand the different types of transducer. So that is why first part is the basics of transducer, second part is understand the working of transducer, working and principle of various types. They are inductive, photovoltaic and photoconductive transducers. Okay, now introduction of transducers again. Now it is shown here, pressure is converted into voltage. Now pressure is the physical quantity, voltage is also a quantity which we require in electrical power, and we always called as electrical. If I'm talking about electrical power, so you always tell I'm talking about voltage, maybe I'm talking about current, maybe I'm talking about something more, that is power, or more, that is energy. So introduction of transducers. Now what is transducer? A transducer is a device, is an element of a system, is a medium, is a part of that system that convert one form of energy, that convert what? One form of energy to the other form. If I'm talking about, my dear student, one form, that may be the physical form, physical quantity. Pressure, temperature, displacement, magnetic field will be there, mechanical, okay, acoustic, chemical, so many things, but they are physical, not invisible, and we can say that they are not present. So it can't convert non-presentable quantity, that is known as non-physical quantity, into the physical, or we can see the other form. So we need physical quantity, that may be mechanical, pressure, temperature, acoustic, chemical. So all these things. It converts the measurand to a usable electrical signal. It converts what? It converts the measurand. Measurand may be which value we have to measure, physical quantities, for example, to a usable electrical signal. The electrical signal which we can use for the move, which can be used for the other part. So converts the measurand to a usable electrical signal. This signal, electrical signal. Okay. Now, in other word, it is a device that is capable of converting. If I am talking about the other word means in another way, we can say. Other word means I am telling you in another, in the different, in the other way. I want to tell you that is, it is the device that is capable of converting the physical quantity into a proportional electrical quantity, such as voltage or current. Now physical quantity into the proportional electrical quantity. Now physical quantity I am telling about again, mechanical, pressure, temperature, displacement, acoustic, chemical. So many things are physical. Pressure is also there, converted into the proportional electrical quantity, such as voltage. Means, for example, I am taking it like this, that torque, that is 5 Newton meter torque converted into 5 voltage transducer. 5 Newton meter torque is the mechanical quantity converted into 5 volt. 5 degrees centigrade converted into 5 volt. 5 degree centigrade converted to 5 ampere. 5 Newton meter torque converted into 5 ampere current. So proportional to that quantity, such as voltage or current converted. So that transducer is known as electrical conductor, because we are always talking about the electrical quantity. And we are also studying this thing in the electrical engineering branch. So we always talked about the transducer, that is electrical transducer. I hope you understand. Now, a block diagram of transducer. So block diagram transducer which I am using here is for the better understanding of the transducer working, how it works, how it takes place, how it playing an important role in a system. Now transducer contains two parts that are closely related to each other. Transducer contains two parts that are closely related to each other. That is first sensing element and transduction. Now one thing is there. If pressure is converted into voltage, though my dear student, one thing will be there to sense the pressure, to measure that pressure, to have that pressure value. How I'm telling you that 5 nanometer or 5 basically the Newton meter converted into the 5 voltage. Newton meter measurement should be there, torque measurement should be there. If I'm talking about 5 degrees centigrade converted to 5 volt, 5 ampere, so 5 degrees centigrade, how will I know it? How will I can interpret it? How can I will measure it, my dear student? So if I want to measure it, I want to interpret it, I want to basically know that it is a value, so I need a system, I need a medium through which I can come to this point that it is a torque of this value. So that is the sensor. And another one which convert, which transduct, which convert into the another form, that is transduction element. So first is the sensing element which senses all these things. Second is the transduction element. Okay. Now the sensing element is also called as sensors. So many sensors we have. Now in this lecture we'll talk about the transducer, and our unit 2 is also deals with the transducer. So we know the transducer, but in transducer we having sensors. So many sensors we have. Okay, the sensing element is called as the sensor. Now it is device producing measurable response. It is device what? Producing what, my dear student? Measurable response. The response which can be measured. Non-measurable means we can't able to measure. Measurable response to change in physical conditions. What we can do? We can change into the physical condition, means we can easily convert into the physical conditions, change into the physical conditions. So sensor is there, that is sensing element. Okay, convert change into the physical conditions. Now third, the transaction element convert the sensor output to the suitable electrical. The transaction element convert what? Convert the transaction medium element, or the transaction element convert the sensor output to the suitable electrical. First sensor is there, senses. Another one is the transaction element, convert that sensor output to the suitable electrical. Because if I am talking about the transducer, so earlier my lectures, I always tell you one thing. I'm always talking about the electrical transducer. If I'm talking about inverse transducer, so it means non-electrical. But if I'm talking about the electrical transducer, it means it gives you the output as electrical and takes input as a physical. Now see here, parameter, that is example, pressure, temperature, force. So I'm applying a pressure of air, that is 40 psi maybe. Temperature is there, that is of 5 degrees centigrade. Force is there, Newton meter we have. So we are applying here. So this block showing you the sensing. It senses. It basically means senses how much we are. Then we having the output, that is the sensor output, and this sensor output is given to the transaction element. Transaction element is how can we convert a displacement converted to voltage, voltage converted to displacement. So that is the transaction element we have. Okay, and this transaction element give you the what? Electrical signal, the electrical output which you want, basically the electrical signal, maybe in the form of voltage, current, power, energy. So I hope you understand this thing. Now contain two parts. Sensing element, it takes the physical quantities parameter like pressure, temperature, force, acoustic, chemical, mechanical, so many physical quantities. Though it senses here, that is the sensing element, then it is proportional to the sensor output. We directly give to the transaction element. We give you to the transaction element. This transaction element convert into the form which you want, which you desire, which you have a need of it, which you are in the need of. That is electric. Voltage, power, current, energy. So I hope you understand. Now, classification of transducers. Classifications of transducers. So, on the basis of transduction principle. Now, if I am talking about, my dear student, transduction principle. So if I'm talking about the transduction principle, means sensing element and transaction. So sensing element is sensor which senses which physical quantity we have: pressure, mechanical, acoustic, chemical, mechanical, and physical, all the physical senses. Then we have in the transaction element. So that transaction element is the transaction principle we have. So we have categorized into these categories. First is the capacitive transaction. First is what? The capacitive transaction. So if I talk about the capacitive transaction, so I earlier told you about this. Now in this I will tell you in a brief. Now if I am having a capacitive transaction, means a capacitor always having two parallel plates. There will be charges. There will be what? Charges. And dielectric. Charges with dielectric. If I move the dielectric, though there will be some variation of the charges, variation of the voltage. So displacement is there and we are getting the variation. So that comes in the capacitive transaction. Capacitive transaction. I hope you understand. Capacitive transaction means we can easily vary the dielectric in which way we want. If I'm varying it, so displacement is there, and if displacement is there, though voltage output or the electrical output from the capacitor, because capacitor inductor are the passive elements, but if we give supply to these elements, they behave like a source after the given supply. Means capacitor convert into the electrical field, means store the charges between the parallel plates, and we have the dielectric. And inductor directly convert that charges, that current, into the mmf, magnetomotive force, that is the ampere turn. Because turns are always there in the coil and we flow current in it, so current meet with the turn, ampere turn. Ampere turn having the some reluctance in that field and that path in that core where we wound the coil, so that the mmf is there, and mmf is there if there will be reluctance in that core. So mmf by reluctance we get the mmf. Okay, and the mmf is there, then reluctance is there, the mmf by reluctance we having flux, and flux we having b and h also. Intensity and density. Density is what? Flux per area, Weber per meter square, and intensity is what? H is equals to mmf per length. How much magnetomotive force we are having in a means ampere turn with meter. And if I'm talking about the B, that is magnetic field density, so I'm talking about what? Flux per meter square, flux per length into breadth, area. Okay, so that is the in capacitive we having the dielectric. If I'm moving the dielectric like this, so I'm varying the voltage. And if voltage, how it's varying, charges are varying, current is varying, and current charge is varying, means we are varying the voltage also. So I hope you understand. Now electromagnetic induction, because remaining all four I'll tell you in a detailed manner, because we'll talk later about these inductive, piezoelectric, photovoltaic, and photoconductive. Now, inductive transit. Before this, the electromagnetic transaction. So the electromagnetic transaction is basically two things happen, my dear student. Electromagnetic means electrical field and magnetic. So as per the Faraday law of an electromagnetic induction, we can introduce electrical field with the help of magnetic field. We can introduce electrical field with the magnetic field. As per the what? As per the what, my dear student? Faraday law of an electromagnetic induction. Because in Faraday law of an electromagnetic induction, we have two laws. First law tell you, whenever there is a change in flux linkage in a coil, then there will be an induction of an EMF. There will be production of an EMF. There will be generation of an EMF. There will be, we can generate an EMF. Okay, so that EMF is always known as induced EMF. Induction of EMF, that is induced EMF. If it is a closed path, then we always call that induced current. And second law says you how much the flux linkage we have is equal to the magnitude of that induced EMF, proportional to the magnitude of that induced EMF. So E is equals to minus N divided by dt. So that is the electromagnetic induction. Means in a magnetic field, if I'm varying it, means if I'm cutting it, If I'm varying the field flux or flux, what will happen? The EMF will generate. So through the magnetic field, I am generating the EMF. Through the magnetic field, what I am doing here, I am generating an EMF. So that is the electromagnetic induction. Okay. Another thing, that is Lorentz force, or we can say the Lorentz force is what? Lorentz force I am talking about, it is the force law. That is also known as electromagnetic interaction. That is known as what, my dear student? Electromagnetic interaction. And if I am talking about the electromagnetic interaction means what? I am talking about whenever there is a current carrying conductor placed in a magnetic field, it experiences a force. Whenever there is a current carrying conductor placed in a magnetic field, it experiences a force. For example, it is a magnetic field, it is a current carrying coil. Now it is having the coil, due to this the force applied, and it start rotating. So electromagnetic and electromagnetic, two things are there. So electromagnetic is the Faraday law of an electromagnetic induction. Now one coil is there, flux is there. If I am moving one coil and basically take nearby to that coil, what will happen if I'm varying it? So the EMF will generate in the next coil. So we can basically measure that voltage or current with the help of galvanometer or voltmeter. Okay. Next we having the inductive transition, piezoelectric induction, photovoltaic transition, and photoconductive transition. So all four we'll talk about the all four in some detailed manner. Okay. So I hope you understand about the capacitive on electromagnetic transition. Now moving forward. Now this is inductive transducer. Inductive transducer. Now in inductive transduction, as I earlier told you, in inductive transduction, the measurement thing, physical quantity which we have, okay, that is mechanical, pressure, temperature, acoustic, chemical. All the physical quantities which I am talking about is the measurement, is converted into change in self-inductance of a single coil. Converted into the change in self-inductance of a coil. Now one thing is there, my dear student. In a coil, we having turns. We having what? Turns. And that turns represent the inductor basically. And that property of that inductor is known as inductance. So if I basically in inductive transaction, what happens? The measurement is converted. Means the measurement value which I want to measure is converted into change in the self-inductance of a single coil. A coil is there. Now I'm changing the coil turns, basically inductance in self. It is achieved by displacing the core of the coil. It is achieved by displacing the core of the coil that is attached to mechanical sensing element. That is basically attached to the mechanical sensing element, just like your LVDT, linear variable differential transformer or transducer. Okay, so this is the similar to that one. So if I am changing the coil turns, I am doing what? Change in self inductance of a single coil. I am changing the inductance of the single coil. So it is achieved by, how can we achieve it? Core. If a core, I am basically winding on a core. So if I'm placing that core, displacing the core, so what I'm changing the inductance of that core with the mechanical sensing. So the voltage output is also changed. So that is the inductive transducer work and how it works basically. So I hope you understand about this thing, inductive transducer. Now in inductive transaction or in inductive transducer, we can say the measurement value which I want to measure is converted into a change. Is converted into what? Converted into a change in the self-inductance of a single coil. In the self-inductance of what coil? Single coil. A single coil. It is achieved by displacing the core. It is achieved how? We displace the core in it. That is attached to a mechanical sensing. That is attached to a which element? The mechanical sensing element. So I hope you understand. Now in this, first is the piezoelectric induction. What is it, my dear student? Piezoelectric induction. Now one thing is there. If I am talking about the transducer, So before this is the inductive transducer. So in transducer, basically one thing is there, that is sensing element, that is known as sensor. Another one is the transaction element. So that transaction element is basically this inductive transaction. Is the inductive transaction. At that inductive transaction is what? If we change the coil turns, or if we change some coil, because coil, for example, now I'm taking an example. If a coil having a 10 turns, if a coil having a 10 turns, now core is placed on a basically winding is placed, or winding is wound on that core with having 10 turns. Now if I am moving a core between that turns of the coil, 2 turns I remove it, and I am moving it the 8 turns, means I am moving the core 2 turns having no core, but 8 turns having the core. So 2 turns having no core means no output, but 8 turns having a coil means output will be there. So if one coil giving you the 10 in voltage or whatever, which rating you want, which unit you want, so 10 plus 10, 20 will remove out, only 80 I am getting. So I am getting 80%. Okay. If I move that coil from, remove all the 4 turns and fix that remaining 6 turns. So what will happen? I am getting 60%. 40% are removed off, are basically waved off, are basically take out, and remaining is 6 turns. So 60 means 60% I am getting. So through this, the measurement is converted into change in the self inductance of a single coil. Single coil is there, a coil having 9 turns, 10 turns, 2 turns remove of 8, 20, 80, 4 turns remove of 40, 60. 40 is not working, 60 is working. And remove from the 6, remaining 4, 60, 40. Remove from the 8, remaining 2, 80, 20. So it is working like this. So how we can do this? With the mechanical sensing element. Basically sensing element we need, as per my this block diagram, see, sensing element. So mechanical sensing element will be there, and this is the transaction element, that is the inductive, see here. Okay, so in this inductive is there, we can place or move that core. Okay, so if I'm placing or moving that core, what will happen? The turns wave off, the turns remove off. So 2 turns remove off, 8 remaining, 20, 80. 4 turns remove of 6 turns remaining, 40, 60. 6 turns remove of 4 remain, so 60, 40. 8 turns removing, or 2 turns are remaining, so 80, 20. So they are attached with the mechanical sensor. Now, piezoelectric induction. It is basically a crystal, piezoelectric crystal. You can say the piezo crystal. Okay, so how it works? Now again, sensing and transaction, two things are there. Sensing element will be there, my dear student, and transaction element will be there. So sensing, we can sense with the help of sensors, and transaction, we have this piezoelectric induction. Okay. Now, in piezoelectric induction, the measuring is converted. In piezoelectric induction, the measure value which we want is converted into change in piezoelectric induction. What we having, the measurement is converted into a change in electrostatic charge. Converted into what? Converted into a change in electrostatic charge, Q or V. Electrostatic charge, that is Q, denoted as Q, or voltage V, generated by crystal when mechanically it is stretched. When mechanically it is stretched. Now see, now the piezoelectric induction. Now the word induction, basically we have induce. We are inducing something. We are inducting something. Okay. So in piezoelectric induction or piezoelectric induction, what we have, the measurement is converted into change in electrostatic charge. Is basically converted into what? A change in the electrostatic charge. That is Q. Converting electrostatic charge, because we representing charge as a Q, and dq by dt denote as a I, and I is equals to V by R. So V is there. V is equals to IR. Okay. So charges are there. Is if they are flowing, the current is there, and the charges and current is due to voltage, because voltage is having what? EMF. So basic is EMF, that is electromotive force, and in my view, which I always told you one thing, that my view, EMF is what? Electron motion force. Why is it so, my dear student? Because in a conductor we having the ions, moving ions, and these are the negative charge ions, and they known as electrons. They always known as electrons. If I'm talking about the positive ion charge, always known as holes, but holes are the vacant seat or vacant position maintained or made by the electrons when they move off, when they move out. So I hope you better understand this thing. So in piezoelectric induction, the measurement is converted. The measurement is converted into change in electrostatic charge, that is Q, and V is there. If V is there, then charge is also mean. And EMF, which I am talking about, the EMF, that is electron motion force. So in EMF, basically, the potential difference or the gap which create force on charge to move here and there from one place to another, from sending end to receiving. So it happens, though rate of flow of charge is known as current. So it changes in the electrostatic charge Q or voltage V generated by crystals. It take place or it happens by the crystals. By the what? The crystals. And these crystals is magnetically stressed. When magnetically it is stressed. When we apply the mechanical force, when it is stressed, is shown in figure. That is the figure, my dear student. Now see here. See, if I am applying some force on it, now it is pressing. It is pressing like this. See, and the voltmeter or the galvanometer which I am having, it varies. It varies, my dear student. See how it varies. Now here I am applying a force on it. I'm applying what, my dear student? I'm applying some force on it. If I'm applying the force, it directly converted into the voltage. So that is the piezoelectric crystal. See here, this is the direction of the force which I am applying on it, and it is directly connected to the voltmeter, and it gives you the output. See, if I'm pressing it, it gives you the higher voltage. If I am removing the press, we can say the mechanical stress from it, what will happen? The voltage will go to zero. It is very, uh, you can say, frequently manner I am showing here. So it is pressing, gives you the output. It is not pressing, not gives you. So that is the piezoelectric induction. Now, in piezoelectric induction, the measurement is converted into change in electrostatic charge. As I earlier told you, Q, that is charge, or voltage V, generated by crystals. Generated by what? Crystals. When mechanically it is stress, like this. I'm applying force on it, and that force will give you the deflection in the voltmeter. That force giving you the deflection in the what, my dear student? In the voltmeter or Kelvin. So I hope you understand. Now moving forward. Photovoltaic transition. Now the photovoltaic transition we can easily understand with the help of SPV system, that is solar photovoltaic system. Now I am taking example before this explanation. One thing is there, nowadays MNRE is there, that is Ministry of New and Renewable Energy. And if I'm talking about the Rajasthan, then Rajasthan having Rajasthan Renewable Energy Corporation Limited, RNC. Means Rajasthan is a state, so we're having so many states in our country. So all states having some renewable part. Renewable, basically the governing body for the renewable energy. And if I'm talking about the renewable energy, my dear student, so first the thing which keep in mind, which always take attention, that is solar power. Solar is a Solar power is the best suitable example for renewable. Second is wind, then biomass. So many things are there. Alternate source of energy are there. Okay, but OTC are there. So many. Okay, but one thing is that is very important. That is solar. In solar, what we do, that photovoltaic transaction we do we having basically take place. In this, we having the solar cell. What we having? We having the solar cell. That solar cell basically gives you the output in the form of electrical when we apply sunlight on it. When we apply This is the solar cell. When we apply sunlight on it, it gives you the what? It gives you the electrical output. So I hope you better understand. So in this solar power, basically we establish so many plants. That is known as SPV plant. That is, we can say on grid or off grid. On grid, if I am talking about, that is working as on grid, directly working. And off grid, they stores basically, and store after storing it, they gives you when sunlight is not take place. They gives you output in the form of electric. When sunlight goes out, when sunlight is not there, mean in a night, in a evening. But on grid always gives the power of sunlight when sunlight occurs. I hope you understand. Now, first thing, this solar cell will give you the DC. You can convert AC with the help of inverter. You can store with the help of batteries. So in off grid we having the batteries. In on grid we doesn't have batteries. We have only the inverter system, inverter setup. So I hope you understand now. Try to read it, try to learn it, try to understand one thing, that is what is photovoltaic transition. So in photovoltaic transition, the measurement is converted to the voltage generated. In photovoltaic transition, what happens? The measurement is converted to the voltage generated. The measurement means the measurement thing which we having sensing and transaction. So sensing element is there which measuring, and the transaction. Okay, this thing photovoltaic transaction is converted to the voltage generated when junction between dissimilar matter is illuminated. When voltage generated, when the junction between dissimilar matters, means two dissimilar matters we have, like the P and semiconductor diode, P and N. Okay, understand? Pentavalent to trivalent impurities mix with the extrinsic semiconductor. Liquid semiconductor means the property of resistance lies between 0 to infinity, means having the property of both conductor and insulator. So when the junction between dissimilar matter is illuminated, then the photovoltaic transition takes place. Now see here, my dear student. The basic suitable example for this photovoltaic transition is the solar cell, the solar panels. In this solar panels, what we have basically, in solar panels, these are the positive and negative ions, means holes and electrons. Then we having this barrier, which is showing here. That is the barrier. When we apply sunlight on it, a sunlight occurs on it, sunlight falls on it. So what will happen? This sunlight having the photons, photoions. These photoions basically indulge, enact, alter in this cell system and gives the high energy through which the electrons basically passes through the potential barrier, which is basically made by the depletion layer, which is made by the depletion layer after composing of all ions, means making bonds of all ions. Having energy, they can pass away, and remaining don't having the energy, they make a layer, that is depletion layer. And due to that depletion layer, what will happen? The potential barrier maintain. And if potential barrier is there, and if I apply sunlight on it, photovoltaic photons applying here, so this photoions basically converted the energy, that is I. Yes, we having the energy, means we having the charges that is moving. So if I'm using negative thing, because electrons having always negative charge, and we always know, and I already told you one thing, that we having only the negative ion, that is electrons. If they move, they make a vacant seat of it, vacant position, that is known as holes. So the negative ions are moving, the rate of flow of moving that charge, or the flow of charge, the rate of flow of charge is known as current. So current is moving, it give output, and bulb is glowing. After it removing, the bulb is off, start. So this is the best suitable example for photovoltaic transaction. So I hope you understand about this thing. Now moving forward, this is the photovoltaic transaction simple diagram, how it works. See, in the photovoltaic transaction, basically, this is the sunlight we have, the source of photo ions. If I apply sunlight on it, now sunlight is applying on it. What will happen? See, a diode, a cell is simply a diode. Diode is a cell is what? A simply diode. Combination of N and P. If I am basically diffusing N semiconductor with P semiconductor, though it calls as PN junction diode, they make a junction basically. What happens in the junction? Electrons and holes make a combinations. Some combination having power, they take out from the that cell or basically the junction. Some not having the power, they remain and make a layer of it nearby the junction. And that layer is basically the depleting layer, because after that the ions are depleted. And this depletion layer create a barrier between these two, positive and negative. They make a potential barrier, because negative ions is there, positive ions are there, and they make what? A barrier between it. That is known as potential barrier. So which type of material we are using for semiconductor? Their threshold voltage depends. It is silicon or germanium, 0.3 or 0.7 voltage. After that voltage, the barrier will come down and the ions will move. Means charges are flowing. If charges are flowing, rate of flowing means current is flowing. So what happens in the sunlight? Front electrode we have negative, anti-reflecting coating we have, means mirror we having anti-reflecting, because if reflect is there, no generation of energy will be there. So n-type silicon we have, p-type silicon we have diode. There is a back electrode. Now if we apply sunlight on it, the rays occurs on it having the photons, this photo ions basically fell down on the surface of it. How basically they having the energy, they having the ions, they generated, they basically indulge with it and alter the depletion, break the depletion, and basically decrease the value of barrier. And through this barrier, if value is decreased, the ions are moving. If ions are moving, the rate of flow of charges are flowing, charges are moving with velocity. What happens? Current will flow, and it is shown here as a bulb glowing. Okay, so that is the photovoltaic transition. I hope you understand. Next and last, that is the photoconductive transition. Now, if I am talking about, my dear student, photoconductive transition. So in photoconductive transition, the measurement is converted to change in resistance of semiconductor material by chance change in light incident on that material. That is similar to like that one. That is similar to the your photo, we can say photovoltaic, but here it is a photoconductive. So it is similar to that one. We having what? Photo ions. So in this photoconductive transition, the measurement is converted to change in resistance of semiconductor. Changing in the resistance of what? Semiconductor p or n type material by change in light incident on material. Means changing the light incident material, it change the conductor. So it is looking like this. These are the light incident on it. So four conductors we have. Inductive, they are changing at turns by moving the core. Then piezoelectric, applying a mechanical stress, it gives you the voltage. You can measure it. Third is the photovoltaic transition, that is similar. We having solar cell, apply or incident the rays of solar on it. Photo ions will be there. Depletion goes down. Barrier goes down. Current moving. Basically charges are moving, so current is flowing, and it glows the bulb. And here we having converted to the change in resistance of semiconductor material by changing line incident, by changing the line incident on the material. So I hope you better understand by the four types: inductive, piezoelectric induction or inductive transducer, photovoltaic transition, and photoconductive. So these are four. Now some multiple choice question related with you. Piezoelectric transistor is used for measuring obviously electrical quantities. Piezoelectric crystal are not soluble in water. We can't. Piezoelectric crystal produce high voltage obviously. Piezoelectric transistor consists of quartz crystal. It is in the form of quartz crystal. When a compressive force is applied to quartz crystal, then positive charge are induced. Okay, we can say the both here. Current is flowing. Piezoelectric transducer has high sensitivity. Okay, which of the following represent the application of inductive transducer? Both displacement and thickness. When the source of light is not sunlight, then the photovoltaic cell is used, or we can use as photo detector. We can use what? Photo detector. The reason when the electrons and holes diffuse across the junction is called depletion layer. I already told you. A quartz crystal is a self-generating transducer. Self-generating transducer. Now, the three books I am right here, basically for your reference. These are the very good books: E.K. Sani, Rajendra Prasad of Khanna Publication, and R.S. Saini and Ellie Post. So I took some material from these all three books, and you can also refer these books. You can also read these books. These are available in our library. So thank you from my side. I hope you understand about this lecture. Four types of transducer. I basically taught you about the four types of transducer. I hope you understand this thing. So thank you from my side. I hope you understand this thing, my dear students. So thank you for listening.